This information you are about to hear and perhaps view, these are not necessarily the thoughts or the ideas of Gary C.Clement or the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the parties this story is about or was interviewed for. Parts of this content may not be owned by or the property of the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, G2 Network Media, or any other company we are affiliated with, and this information is strictly the opinion of those being interviewed. This content is for information purposes only, and although we may make reference to various news stories, we share our own independent beliefs about the content and provide our own opinions. Please enjoy the information. Haard News, hosted by Gary C.Clement. Today's news is made up of so many different issues, and it's hard to keep up. But we all know it's important to keep law enforcement in the community and society, as many in America have a problem doing the right thing. Growing up, my mother always said it's easy to do right, but so many people choose wrong, and once you get in trouble, it's very hard to get out of it. Haard News will tackle all issues that break the barriers of justice for all, freedom for all, and simply a good and strong meaning of democracy for all. The show covers politics, crime, gun violence in our communities, and will introduce guests who have a personal stake in these issues. So without further ado, please enjoy this week of Haard News, hosted by Gary C. Clement. Hello, this is Gary C. Clement, and welcome to Haard News. In the news, there are many issues when it comes to gun violence and other crimes that have caused many of our communities major problems. So our issues of discussion today will be, number one, President Trump. Can we afford another 4 years of former President Trump? Number two, murders and gun crimes continue to affect our communities throughout the country. And number three, lack of resources and technology in the Black community. Today on the show, we have Ms. Pam Monroe of Wilson, North Carolina, who's a technical support advisor and cybersecurity expert who has worked for Apple and many other companies. And also on the show today, we have my co-host, Mr. Ron Dove of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. How are you all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, very good, cool. So let's start with Ms. Monroe. Talk to us a little bit about how access to technology can change the trajectory of crime in our communities.
Yeah, so it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Unfortunately, technology has, allowed some individuals to carry out the act of committing crimes. Opposed of people like me can also help to track these criminal acts from happening. So it can be good and bad at the same time.
Right. Okay. So just, I guess, expand a little bit, on your background as well as, your expertise to, work within cybersecurity, please.
Yeah, cybersecurity is helping to make the online interactions more accessible, but at the same time to stop committing acts online. So for instance, to passwords to keep them more encrypted or more secure, not sharing them and always having like on your job, and you're on your job, you want to always have like daily activities to remind the employees how to not share the, information from different sites. So cybersecurity, you can use it in different ways.
Right. I understand. Okay. Because what I also see too with our society, the way that things are now, is like one thing is there's a big, open market for new people, a lot of people to come into cybersecurity. Are the skills not there? Are the people not there? What is it exactly?
Cybersecurity is a wide open field, and the skills are there, but you know how it is with all other jobs. You have to test out, or you have to be in the field for a very long time. And I don't know, sometimes I don't want to say it's racially divided, because it's a hard field to get into. I want to say that.
I see. I got you. Okay. Because I was thinking too, I was like, just to kind of like, say the Afro-American community is not prepared or whatnot to basically get a job in cybersecurity. Is that true?
Some of us do, some of us don't. for instance, like me, I graduated in 2015, and my jobs has been far and few in between. So yeah, I think they want you to have like when I was in school, right, studying for cybersecurity. Most of my the students that was with me, they was already in the job field.
Okay.
And I was like not in the job field, but I was looking into the cybersecurity part is to get the education so that way I can get a job in the field. But most of them were already supervisors or whatever. And then I even met some people who wanted me to go back to school for them just so they can get their degree. They didn't want to go get the degree. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they wanted me to take the, you know, which I didn't do, but yeah.
I
Most of
see.
them have certificates, but they do not have the degree.
I
And the
see.
ones that do have the degree do not have the job. So,
I see. Okay. So as the government goes through, because I know that there are actual, I could just say, programs out here, whatnot, where our federal government, I believe, is going through and basically willing to send a lot of people to school to basically train to get some of these new jobs, this new technology that's coming. I guess that's why I'm saying, when it comes to our people, what is it going to take or whatnot to get us ready or whatnot for these kinds of jobs?
yeah, we're going to have to be ready. Exactly. We're going to have to just go through the flow. And, wow, you got to have the mindset for it. That's what I say. You have to have the mindset for it, and you got to study. You got to pass tests. Not only do you got to get the degree for cybersecurity, once you get a degree, you still got to get certificates. And once you get a certificate, you still have to get a degree. Depends on what job it is. Depends on who you interact with. It's a lot of ifs and cons, pros.
I see. Okay. When it comes
But
to go ahead, go ahead.
you were saying the community, the black community, what will it take for the young ones, right, to
Right,
get into the
absolutely.
field of cybersecurity?
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think they need to open the doors. I think they need the corporate positions and all the positions. I was just advocated, just need to open the doors more to minorities to get them in the door so that way they can be trained. You know what I mean? And
Right.
not ask for like 3 or 4 year experience. I mean, how they gonna get in the door without
With the experience. Right. Right. Got you.
or letting
Yeah.
them in and giving them some type of, training first or pre-qualifications to wait to get that 3 or 4 years behind the belt.
Right. I understand. Right. Okay. So in correlation to the gun violence, the drug issues or whatnot that we have in our communities, um, would you say that, this technology thing would actually help out with a lot of that, basically curb some of that? How do you feel about that?
Technology as far as
Being able to provide the technology and stuff needed to take a young person's mind away from the drug thing or wanting to be part of a gang, or you think that technology can play has a role in there somewhere?
yeah, I remember back in the day when I was going, like they have those tech, what you call them, skill courses that they would have in different communities where they would have us going. Say, for instance, like learn how to type, learn how to, file and all that. Yeah, they need to put that back into the communities so that way people that want to try to change their, careers or whatever they're doing, their status, and give them some more skills behind their belt. That's what they need to do. And all the communities, we need to bring back those type of,
I see. Right.
mm,
Okay.
trying to
So
think of the name that we used back in the day that helped a lot of us to get into the field of jobs. But
I
yeah,
see.
that would be a good thing to do.
Okay. So now, Ron, you're older actually than both of us. So back in the day, just talk a little bit about some of the things that were available before computers and stuff really came into, society and, became a big part of our lives.
Well, well, back in the day, we did not have the technology, like you say, that we have today. And I'm going back to rotary telephones, and they used to have the expression, "I'm gonna drop a dime on you." You know what I'm saying? And make a phone call. Uh, we didn't have the technology like we have today. We had to go by passing the word on by word of mouth and writing letters. That's another lost communication thing that we used to do back in the day. We would write letters to one another. Uh, Travel was we had to travel long distances to try to have communications and so forth. But with today's technology, with the uh, type of securities that they have, the cyber security and all the different techniques that they use today, it's good, but then at the same time, it's kind of scary too, because with the cyber criminals that you have out there, they get smarter every year, right? And so I think it's good now that you have this AI technology today where uh, they can use computers to do so many different things. Identify they're doing facial recognition, fingerprints. They got all kind of satellite type of security going on, which is the future right in our face.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you got some scrupulous people out there. They're learning this technology also, and so their intentions are not as good as those who want to try to save our society. And so it's an interesting era. It's an interesting time to live in. They were talking on not too long ago about some of the technology. The I'm trying to remember some of this AI technology that could identify people. Actually, they were saying that they could make prints, that they could make a person's face picture and put it in a situation that person wasn't actually there, but yet they could create a scenario that would put that person in a certain situation, and then they could use that against that person and say, okay, well, you committed a certain crime or whatever. But but some say that they're afraid of this type of technology because they it's so advanced it could really fall into the wrong hands.
Mm-hmm.
So being scammed like I was a couple of times, it's like a minefield of scammers out there now. So if the technology is available to stop these people, that's good. But at the same time, these scammers are getting more uh, skillful. They're using technology just like the federal agencies are using to supposedly to protect us, and it's really a real space age technological world right now. And at my age, to be living in this world it's exciting. At the same time, you kind of feel a little bit cautionary because that the world is not heaven. This is
Mm-hmm.
we live on a planet with all kind of people, and everybody does not have good intentions. But we've come a long ways from my day to today. I mean, it's just amazing how far we have come. I mean, telephones was the mode of communication,
Mm-hmm.
and even back in the day, you couldn't you had to pay extra for long distance calls.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much it kept it kind of local. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you could call, but you might have to pay a price to call. Uh, well, so that's a
Right.
little bit on the a little bit on it
Right.
right there.
Okay. So Pam, with all
That's
that,
so here.
yeah. So with all that he just said or whatnot, and looking at, like I said, how times have changed with this technology thing, where do you see us headed? And then too, having to add this AI or artificial intelligence or whatnot, where do you see things going in the future, with your knowledge and your background?
In the future, using AI, we're not going to have any jobs. They're going to be replacing us with robotics, everything.
Mm-hmm.
If we allow them to. Look
Mm-hmm.
at Elon Musk with this new car. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
has its flaws, but yeah, the technology is really changing. We're going to be out of jobs.
Right. I hear you.
Okay,
That's what I think.
I want to add one thing too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the movies. They were discussing AI technology, and somebody asked the question: Could the robots or AI become so intelligent until they actually decide to take over and go against uh, the humans? For example, they had one test where they had some type of AI experiment, and actually it went against it actually disputed or went against the operators who were trying to control it, and the AI itself decided to go in its own direction.
Right.
So it's like the movies, but guess once they create this AI monster, you know, it can do so much, and they can put so much technology into it, where it thinks and it can start imitating us, and who knows where to go? Will it try to take over? You know, that it sounds weird, but that's what's happening.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right. That
true.
sounds very scary. Very scary. Yeah. Cool. So, as far as our, I guess you could say, ecosystem, for new technology, um, again, I think it's kind of back to, where and how do we get Afro Americans to be able to catch up to be a part of what's actually happening here in my area, which is down in the RDU area or Raleigh Durham, area, whatnot, here in North Carolina. We have several tech companies that are moving in and bringing high skilled jobs and bringing high skill, basically, and they're paying, excellent money or whatnot for these jobs. So when it comes to our high school students, I'm hoping and praying that they're getting the skills and stuff that they need to basically be able to not only compete, but be able to get into some of these jobs and stuff and, create their own companies or something out of some of this stuff. I'm not
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the playing field is going or how everybody's gonna actually be able to, how could you say it, benefit equally off of this thing. But as you say, things are changing. This stuff is changing so fast we can't keep up with it.
Yeah, how can we ask them to put that type of curriculum in the schools? Even in Florida, who was that governor or whoever he is in Florida just trying to take out certain curriculums out of school for the black schools? That's crazy.
DeSantis.
So who? Yeah, him. Remember that curriculum that was in school there down there for the blacks, and he
Yeah.
wanted to take it out. Let me Google it. What was the name of that?
Right. Yeah. He for educational institutions to not teach Black history or whatnot in the
Hmm.
schools and the colleges or whatnot. Yeah, he wants to basically go through and be able to kind of like dictate what can go in a textbook and what can't. And
Exactly. So that's what I'm afraid of. Why? I mean, how can they have that type of power to do that? I mean, even if we ask for the AI in all the schools across the country, who's to say they want to put it in there? They don't even want to put the computer learning in the schools. That's something that we should be fighting about for our children.
right, absolutely. I remember some years ago when I did an interview or whatnot with veteran journalist Tony Brown. He told me years ago that if our people don't know technology, we will be left behind. Technology puts everyone
Right.
on the same level, and so
That's right.
if like you say in at that time, I mean, I listened to the comment and basically thought about it, and it's funny, and like I said, that's been a good 20, 25 years or better, and I'm like, he was exactly right, because right now, even with our
Right.
smartphones as well as like an actual desktop computer. If you don't know the basics or whatnot of how to get on, how to log on, how to, up and it's not even about printing anything, but being able to just access a search engine or, go in and go to YouTube and find videos. You got a problem, man. You got a big problem.
They're
And
gonna be left behind. That's right.
absolutely. Right, right.
You, we talk about critical race theory, is what they call it when they want taught in the schools, but really they don't want the truth taught because there's been a lot of plagiarization of history, a lot of lies, and a lot of cover up, you know. And really, what that does is it really brings out truths that they can't handle, you know. And so it's best kept left alone, and so they can go on with their, a lot of racist things that happen in the school. But there's so much. This is just like Kyrie Irving. Just recently, he got caught up about the teaching of the Hebrew Israelites and so forth. And there's a lot of controversy about that, depending on who you talk to. But there's a lot of history that we just have not really delved deep into it. But today, now you got a lot of young scholars or people who now, not settling for what was said in the past, and now they're going out and getting this information and putting it in books. And some of them are diligently doing research. So the truth is not welcome in the society right now. They cannot handle it because it's going to reveal so much, and certain things have to be changed when you start telling the truth. But we have to educate ourselves, old and young. We got to read. We got to learn from one another. The old have to learn from the young have to learn from the old.
That's so true.
So we like a village. We have to come together. Otherwise, we just going to separately just perish.
Mm-hmm. I remember years ago, like I said, again, I'm 54 now, but as I was growing up, one thing that my mom actually did and stuff for learning purposes was she stayed on me and stuff about reading and writing, and not only just the classroom portion of it where you actually physically had to do those things, but when I came home, like I said, you had to literally read and write and stuff at home too, reading books and learning how to use like hold a pencil and stuff so you could actually write out your name and write out this and write out that. And I know right now it's like, I think what I'm seeing is like a lot of kids and stuff have computers and they got smartphones and stuff, and they don't know how to actually write their name out anymore,
Right.
That's not good. That's not good. If something breaks down and stuff, you need to know how to go backwards or whatnot in order to fix it the old-fashioned way, so that you can, take things forward again.
That's right.
Well, something too. If I can say this, one thing that always puzzled me. Okay, I went to school. I took algebra and geometry and trigonometry. Okay. So they gave you the formula. They gave you the key because math opens up the pathways to all kind of science and so many things. But they didn't show you what door to put that key in. What I mean by that is this: you can take algebra and geometry and figure out things for yourself. And see, we don't know that. We didn't learn that. All we learned was, okay, this is algebra, and this is and go both sides of the equal sign and this and that and so forth. Okay, fine, we did it, we passed. But other than that, we had no use for it. But you can take those two sides, math and algebra and trigonometry. You can sit down in your house, and if you knew the rest of the other half of the whole program, you could figure out things. And see, we have not been taught that. The scientists, they use Albert Einstein. He used theory of relativity. You see him up there, the blackboard, writing all this stuff. What is he doing? It's a language. So why did we get the other part of that? Because it's hidden from us. It's not just there, algebra, just to be there. I mean, you could do stuff with this algebra and geometry. You could figure out things with it, but nobody ever taught us the other side of that. But in other words, you got to go to college, and then they'll give us say. But there's another side of that, and I wish that we had some scholars that was ahead. I'm gonna show you how you could take geometry, and you can figure out some stuff. You can actually, you can do some actual statistical stuff or whatever, and figure out how to do this, how to do that, how to create this, and how to create that. No, we didn't get that we just got the formulas. I don't understand what I'm trying to say is, but that has puzzled me. Why, people are getting algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and then calculus and all this other stuff. But why not show us how we can use this stuff to our advantage?
Okay.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to be a scientist to use it.
Right.
That's why I like cybersecurity, because it protects your devices, data, confidential information from cyber attacks. It also helps, to avoid online scams, with the seniors too. Especially like to work with the seniors, of course, when I do something on the side to help them, because they don't know anything about the computers.
Right.
Like stay compliant with the regulations of the computer. So, so that helps protect the reputation as far as security problems on the computer. That's why I decided to go in with cybersecurity, reduces the risk of cyber attacks. But as far as algebra, chemistry, and all that good stuff, I was afraid of that. Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of that,
Right.
But I got to tackle it. I mean,
I see. Okay.
It wasn't required though. A lot of it was not required in cybersecurity, so I was happy about that. You do have to know the fundamental, mathematics. You do.
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, I think the core part of that basically was science, technology, engineering, mathematics classes, STEM programs and stuff that a lot of the right. Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of the high schools and stuff actually are starting to put a lot of the seniors, and then actually it's probably going probably in like middle and junior high, those schools whatnot too are teaching kids STEM exercises and all that stuff now.
That's right. They are. Yeah. My cousin, she just graduated high school, and they put her in that type of program, and she had no idea, and they didn't have nobody in the school to help her. Even the teachers didn't know.
Wow.
It was rough for her, but she got an A, and she passed. So thank God for that. But it's not easy for the kids.
Right. Yeah, and it sounds like I
think she was the only one in the high school that took it and passed it. Really.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's sad.
I see. But okay, and so I guess to get back to our last question, being that we got all these other difficult situations and stuff going on with, technology in our communities, for our youth as well as our elderly people, when it comes to our presidential election, can we afford 4 more years of President Trump?
Trump, Biden, whoever. I just want them to be fair with. I don't know. It's just. Can't we just have someone younger? I don't know. What do you think? I know Trump is bad still. I don't think he's going to make it anyway. He already got charges right now. I don't know what they're going to do with that. But do older presidents really help the overall society?
Go ahead, Ron.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, it's not so much the age as it is the brains. Age
got something to do with the brains too.
Well, age has something to do with the brains, but guess what? Some brains are still kicking at a certain age. You know what I'm saying? And since I have come this far, I've seen proof of that. But Trump is a dangerous person, if you ask me, as far as you know,
He won't make it. Nah, he won't
the
make it.
presidency. I mean, one thing I'll say about him though, he really knows how to promote himself.
Yes.
And I mean, I've never seen one individual who could control the whole world with his personality. I mean, he's a guy that he should be in the movies.
But why
But
did they wanted him there in the beginning? Because he was different than all the rest of them. I don't know. It was just like you said. It was something about them that they liked. They didn't like the same promises that all the other presidents was giving. He was like different. He was giving out different perspectives on the society of the country. Maybe that's why they voted him in. I don't know.
well, he wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. He's a super salesman. I
Yeah,
mean,
super
Trump,
self for
Trump
sure.
knows how to sell himself. He's excellent at that. And none of those other guys seem to have that kind of flair, you
Right.
know? And when he's a show. When he gets up on the stage, he controls the whole situation. I mean,
Right.
that's pretty powerful for a man, whether you agree with him or not. I don't agree with Trump,
Right.
you know. But one thing I have to give him the respect, the fact that look where he's at, all the things that he's been accused of, all the things that he's been involved in, he can
Mhm.
still run for president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else can do this? Who else
Well,
can do this kind
well, but no,
Exactly.
but I was just gonna say. No, I was just gonna say though. Like I said again, you got to look at the situation from several different angles and several different perspectives, and really hone in on the fact that there's obviously something wrong with politics here in America.
That's right. That's right. I
of? Yeah,
Because
agree with
no
that.
man should be able to do that. He said it himself. He can go in Central Park and stuff and shoot and kill somebody, but yet still he can still, walk away like nothing happened. Nobody else in this country can do that. But that defies us in this country having laws or whatnot to follow.
Mm-hmm.
well, it's
So
sad. It just
Certain
shows,
individuals, right?
yeah, it just shows you the mood of this country and what we will stand for and what we'll support. And sometimes when you see it, it's kind of scary. You mean to tell me that you guys are going to really support all of this? You know?
right.
And I wonder what the other countries are saying about us. I mean, it's not just us now. I mean, when we pulled out of Afghanistan, for example, and we left all that equipment over there, and we pulled out in a hurry. That was sad, and we
Mhm.
left those people over there who have been supporting us, who put their trust in us, and then we pull out and just leave them there,
Yeah, I
right?
remember that.
And,
That's
and
crazy.
so now the whole world saw this.
Mhm.
And don't think that didn't have an effect on the minds of some of those other leaders out there. They say, well, look at the United States. Are they running scared? What's wrong with these people? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hmm.
So the things that we do is a reflection all over the world. And at this point, from what a lot of our politicians have done, I think we have lost a lot of respect around the world. Who's going to trust you? Because we had a situation in Iraq.
Mhm.
You know, we leave people stranded, and so when we do these things, the rest of the world sees this stuff. Then they judge us by it, and
Right.
we don't look too good. I mean, we were supposed to be like the most powerful country on earth, but at this point, with all the crazy politics and stuff, doing the things we're doing, people want to know what's going on. What's going on in America.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. It's so. I guess like you said, we just here in America, like I said, all is not well. We have a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Some people don't like Biden, but Biden actually is trying to come through and clean up, all of the mess that he was left by Trump. And I just see it basically that, here it is that Trump has been indicted, basically for these, these current 7 charges or whatnot in regards to those files or whatnot. But then there's the stuff with, him actually having to be found guilty of raping this woman before that, and then the Stormy Daniels stuff before that, and just a whole bunch of issues. And he didn't clean up anything. He created new problems or whatnot for us, And so, like you said again, how is it that President Trump can actually run for president after all these issues? He's still got 73, 74 million people that are willing to vote for him all over again. There's something wrong with America.
And the Republican Party, they just said some of the guys that he's running against for presidency, right? Some of his foes are actually in his corner now because they're saying that the government is weaponizing, weaponizing the government to go after him. And so now I don't understand how you're going to have two opinions. You're going to either be for the guy, you're going to be against the guy. So it's a game, right? We play the game. I mean, I'm right. 1 minute DeSantis is going to be showing Trump up. The next instance, he said, "Oh, they shouldn't weaponize it. They shouldn't do this to Trump." I mean, so how can when you see these guys doing this stuff? I mean, what does that make you think? But then again, with the Republican Party, really, supporting Trump, they can't find a candidate that can outperform Trump. As much as they might not want to see him in there again, the power that this man exudes is greater than all those other guys put together. He was at, I think, was it 48% or 58% over all the other candidates so far, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you add all of them up together, they still wouldn't come close to Trump's numbers.
Right.
So it's amazing.
Right. And just like Pam said, though, I would definitely love to see a younger candidate, especially, like I said, but I guess when you look at it, too, for Biden's vice president, Kamala Harris, I do not see that America is ready for a woman, let alone a black woman, to basically be able to be president of the United States. I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're there yet.
I thought we were ready when Hillary was running, and I voted for Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to see a woman be president of the United States. I think with all the shenanigans and dumb stuff a lot of the guys have done, I think that's the next best option.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, I guess it's debatable whether we are ready or not for a woman, but I truly think that we are.
We really do appreciate our guests who participated in this episode, and we hope you learned something that will bless your day and your life. For all who are interested in learning more about the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, please visit www.amazon.com and order my book, The Gary Clement Radio Show, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. It covers everything about us and features a variety of Afro-American personalities who speak out about the importance of education and literacy in the Black community. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Please send us your email address so we can contact you when we have new releases and new episodes and new projects as well. You can reach us at gccpresents@yahoo.com. And also, if you're interested in submitting any materials or want to get in touch with us, please do so by simply sending an email to gccpresents@yahoo.com. That's G as in Gary, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie, presents@yahoo.com. So until next time, do take care. And this is a G-Tube Network media production.